All right, now we're talking. We're looking at a Cessna Citation. This is a CJ4. We're sitting here at Hanoi International Airport. This is in Vietnam. Now, when it comes to business jets, there's only a couple to pick from as far as companies goes, and Cessna is definitely one of the major players. In FS2020, we have two different types of these. Of course, we have the CJ4, and we also have the Longitude, which is an even bigger version of it, which also has an incredibly long range. So let's go ahead and take a look. So first things first, this is a little bit older design. It still has a lot of that nice EFB stuff kind of directly in front of you. You can see we got a nice little terrain approach and everything like that. Our main mode control panel is directly ahead of us. We have nothing over our head, which is kind of a really nice touch. We have a true hardcore FMS way down here, which makes our life a little bit simpler. That big squishy panel, I love how it's got the little controls in the back. And of course, this is a nice luxury jet. This is the smaller of the two jets that we have in FS 2020. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and release the parking brake. Go ahead and give myself a couple notches of flaps, and we're going to be interested in this little display right here. All right, let's go ahead and push it forward, pull it back just a teeny tiny bit, and let's get rolling. Now, Hanoi International Airport, of course, if you're familiar with this general environment, you're probably pretty familiar with the interesting aviation history that exists here in Vietnam. I think this is a really neat spot. And there's a lot to see here, and it's absolutely gorgeous countryside, and we'll see some of that in just a moment. Landing gear up, we got to slap the flaps up. This is a business jet, so you can do silly things with it. Again, I can pull my nose all the way up to here without even feeling that much of an ill effect. I'm going to sit up just a little higher so I can see what I'm doing here. So this is a business jet. Usually I kind of put an aircraft through their paces, but in this particular case, I'm a little nervous. I love the fact I have an AOA indexer literally right in front of my face. Just sort of sitting there hanging off the center pedestal. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's kind of a nice touch. Stick my head down, bring it down a little bit. I'm going to reduce my throttle just a little bit. And we'll see if we can get a good look here. I'm already doing 250. This thing's like a fighter jet as far as performance goes. It's also a very light jet, which makes it much easier to operate. All right, got to swing yourselves around very quickly and easily. There's Thud Ridge for those of you who are well written too, well read. All right, we're already accelerating much too fast with this thing. It's just incredible. Of course, you'd never do this if you had a client on board. They get pretty darn nervous if you were to pull something like this on them. Imagine they get just a teeny tiny bit grumpy. So let's go ahead and now bring ourselves basically in kind of a northeasterly kind of heading here. Heading basically south now. Look back out the window real quick. Oh yeah, those are heavy controls. I'm basically working it pretty darn hard, and the thing is doing a pretty gentle job of kind of swinging ourselves back around here. All right, looking pretty good. I like how it's got kind of a conventional little heads-up display. Well, not heads-up display. Electronic flight bag kind of a thing. That's pretty good. I want to bring us just a little bit further to the east. There we go. And there is Hanoi proper, straight below us. Now, one of the annoying things about the Cessna business jets is they never really had the capability of having automatic throttle, which is kind of a bummer. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have as far as autopilot. Let's go flight directors on. I'm going to throw autopilot. I'm going to do altitude hold as well. I don't know. I didn't hear you the first time. Let's swing our heading here. We're going to go basically try to find the coast and kind of make our way up the coast in a second. This aircraft is more than fast enough to pull that off. Switch to heading hold mode. Aircraft starts to tilt. It's kind of interesting that these displays for engines are this small. I mean, that's not really something I really expected. We will take ourselves up a little bit of altitude, though. Again, we'll take advantage of this aircraft. There's a lot of really nice things with it. Let's see here. Let's go up to, take us up to 15 or so. Ooh. Got to go easy those last couple clicks. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to press the flick button. And we might as well set our speed. It's at 246. We'll do 250. Go ahead and push the throttle back forward, and the nose of the aircraft should be lifting up. Nice. Whoa! Wow. This thing has got places to be. Wow. I feel like we accidentally just hit the JATO button on this thing or something like that. I'm sure the people, our clients in the back, are not so thrilled with what we're doing here. Oh my, does this thing going. I'm only at 83% too. Coming up to 90. And 90 feels pretty good. And if this is supposed to be a flick, this is not a flight level change. Maybe it shut itself off. No, it still says it's on flight level change mode. Interesting. Well, at least we're going to get to 15,000 feet quickly. Now, I wonder if it automatically armed alt. I don't know that it did. Synchronize, we don't need to synchronize. We'll see if it actually works that way. Just a little bit more power there. Man, does this thing climb like a rocket. Wow. I'm not going to stall it or do anything like that. Again, absolutely beautiful country. All right, we'll start leveling on. Yeah, the flight level change just doesn't quite work right. Ooh, that was a little chunky. I'm not touching the throttle, and it's kind of wandering up and down. I think I probably should have done it myself, but that's all right. I want to see what this thing can do. And if you're going to be flying this, you're going to be spending an awful lot of time in autopilot. Okay, it did a nice job there. Lovely. Yeah, it's definitely struggling a little bit here, but not too bad. All right, cool. So one thing that's always kind of fun to do, too, would be go play passenger up in the back or something like that. But this is pretty good for what I was hoping to do. Give it just a little bit more power here. And that should get us up to a pretty darn comfortable cruise speed, if I should say so myself. So yeah, not bad. I like how they kind of built in the regular FMS that you saw probably in the other aircraft. You know, I could do direct mode and everything else like that. Flight plan mode. Okay, that's cool. So we can go ahead and dial it in just like we could with other aircraft as well. All right, hopefully you found this interesting. I think this is definitely a pretty solid airplane. I'm actually very curious to see how much fuel we went through. We've used 5% already. Definitely the fast one. We'll have to see what the other one is like as well.